Hi, the TAKful Creator here. Okay, let's get started. May God the Creator bless us. May God the Redeemer heal us. May God the Holy Spirit enlighten us. Give us eyes to see, ears to hear, and hands to do the work of God. Feet to walk the path of justice, and mouths to preach the good news. May the angel of peace, prosperity, love, abundance, guidance, and grace watch over us, and lead us to the reign of God. Ashe. Okay, so we see that there is some kind of new beginning that is not so new. What do I mean by that? I mean that you were already introduced to this new beginning, and it didn't really work out well. And because it didn't work out well, you were called to go back to the drawing board. And in you doing so, you tweaked a few things and went right back at it, right? With similar gusto or the same amount of gusto, okay? And in you having this gusto, the new beginning that you sought after again was overturned. Why? Because whatever fix, tweak, or whatever you did to resolve the conflicts between you and whatever new beginning you were seeking didn't pan out ideally the way you thought it would. Okay, so you're called to go right back to the drawing board and figure it out, right? That's why we have this Jack of Spades up here in reverse. You're being called to kind of explore the unknown in like a fool's journey type of way. But realize in this fool's journey, you're going to have even more luck than you had the previous time. Realize when you went into this new beginning, you had a sense of playfulness about you. That's the reason why the new beginning card is here. It is a youthful chocolate girl, but when I mean youthful, she may be around 8 to 12 in age, depending on time frame and stuff, because, you know, things have changed, but between 8 to 12. So this she's not a new child, but innocence in itself, regardless, right? And then you have these butterflies that are surrounding her in very confident colors, confident, alluring, bright colors, symbolizing new beginnings and also moving in formation, right? Moving with efficiency. So because you moved into this, I would say, an opportunity with such a positive light, even though you are embarking on this for the second time around, it's kind of fallen on its face. We want you as a collective to keep that same positivity that you had going into the situation, walking into this opportunity, but remove the childlike wonder from your innocence, if that makes sense. Why do I say that? It's because over here we have the child card falling out again, but the child card is kind of like inching toward the other child card. The difference between the two is that one is vanilla, the other one's chocolate. The vanilla one is a little bit more youthful, wearing the color blue, right? A baby blue. Whereas the chocolate is a little bit older and wearing a yellow. Okay, now there's both pros and cons to the color choice of blue and yellow. The pros to blue is that it's calming, it's tranquil, it's healing. But the negative to it is the tower moment that's usually associated with blue to offer that healing, right? Tears, sadness, betrayal. Those are the negative archetypes of the color blue. And if it's in its baby stages, also immaturity, okay? Where we have yellow here, the more negative aspects of it would be being cowardly or showing cowardice, jaundice, which is a form of sickliness, where you turn yellow. So just sickliness overall, but in a way that's kind of squeamish, right? Think of like stomach acids when you don't eat, but you have like alcohol poisoning and then you throw up. It's like that kind of yellow type of thing, where it only exists in a place where you shouldn't even see that color. Okay, if you're regurgitating that color, it's a bad sign type of thing. Okay, so now that we see the pros and cons of both, where does it fit in with the timeline that we are tapping into right now? Well, you are at this blue stage, this third new beginning, okay? Now, this third new beginning does not mirror the last new beginning that you had, right? Where you kind of saw the situation similarly then very similarly to the situation that you initially had. Okay? That's what made it easy for you to quote unquote solve or fix the problem so that you can embark on this opportunity again. Whilst you're walking into this third opportunity, which is the same opportunity, you're going into it with a fresh mindset. Okay, so your state of mind is looking at this opportunity as a new venture with previous data, right? With prerequisites that are preparing you to conquer the task. Okay, you are fundamentally built for this new beginning now, whereas maybe before this card it was a death and rebirth. Okay, so there was a death and rebirth here, and that was your new beginning. Then you figured out there were some issues with the rebirthing process, so you went back into it. That's the new beginning, not being so new, but then it didn't work out. Why? Because instead of you seeing it as an opportunity in both cases, you're viewing it as a death and rebirth process, which means you have to let go in order for you to make space for the new. In this case, you're not being called to do that. You're being called to retain what is important for the opportunity so that the opportunity can flow more naturally. Okay? Now, what was hindering this initial opportunity? Okay, we talked about that death and rebirth. What was the issue there that you had to even dial it back? Manipulation and deception. Now, it's not fully manipulation, okay? And what do I mean by that? The intent is not to sway the person's mind in a negative way. The intent is to inform. The issue is the information is not good. The information is not right, and the information is not truth. So, in essence, this party over here is pushing lies, and they don't realize they're pushing lies. So, in them doing this, they're actually creating a yo-yo effect, right? So we have the whip here that is contingent in the same direction as this snake, this manipulation and deception card. Okay, so there's a constant back and forth. There's a constant pain or hurt, then there's a lull. Pain or hurt, and then there's a lull, and it's getting to the point where it's redundant, and it's not offering the flow and grace that we were talking about before. Instead, it's offering chaos and tower moments, which could be sickliness or detachment from spirituality, removal of your gifts, or removal of certain necessities, resources, people in your life that is kind of steering you down a path that you aren't ready to embark on. Okay, you may lack the discipline, you may lack the motivation, you may lack the attentiveness or awareness to your life. Regardless, to say, you are allowing manipulation to ruin your new beginning. Okay, now what is hidden behind this manipulation? Because you didn't just wake up one morning and said, you know what, let's be manipulated. You didn't do that. Okay, that wasn't your forum. There's something rooted in your subconscious that is navigating your conscious, that is pushing certain ideas, that is offering certain perceptions. And I'm speaking so generally. I would like to speak in a very detailed, focused manner, but it's so general because this is how your brain operates. It's general information in a way that has to be broad. It can't be general and narrowed. It has to be general and broad. Okay? So I see like there has to be, okay, what is this? Okay, the house in reverse. So what's the reason why you are so easily fooled? What is the reason why you attach yourself to concepts that you believe in 100%, and so you push those concepts to other people and then continue the mistruths and continue the folly? What is allowing your conscience, your mobile body to do this? Well, it is your lack of foundation. It is your home life. It is the life that you grew up having that didn't teach basic skill sets. Okay? And I'm not attacking anyone, because even in my life, I wasn't taught all the basic skill sets. You know, my parents didn't even know half the skill sets I needed for life. I needed to learn at the time frame I needed to learn it. That's how life is. It moves in a way where you're constantly being shown what change is best for the overall collective by way of you and the people around you, okay? So let's say you grew up in a household where communicating your feelings was wrong because it was a sign of weakness, okay? So when you are now an adult moving through life, you hear people communicating their emotions. You automatically view them as a weak individual, and so you play on that. Subconsciously you said they're weak, and since they're weak and you are stronger, you are the predator and they're the prey. Your subconscious already said that by putting you and that other person in a category. Now your conscience is just going to do what muscle memory knows best. And what is that in this scenario? It would be to play on the weaknesses of that person. So exploit them emotionally. Say, you know, you need to not feel this way, or you need to think about it in a way where you detach emotionally, or you're pushing an agenda that is not offering proper healing, is not offering health. It's actually deteriorating their mental or emotional health. And in doing so, you're also deteriorating your own emotional and mental health. Okay? So that's just one example. Maybe another example is, this camera's shutting off. The difference between today and 15, 20 years ago is they're processing. Just to simplify, it's processing. Foods are so much more processed today than they were back then. Yes, there were chemicals. Yes, there were GMOs. Yes, there were so many other toxic things in the food back then, but the toxicity in food now has increased substantially. So if that's the case, and you're like a second generation of not knowing how to cook, there's no option for your children to get proper nourishment. Whereas for you, there was an option that one day your parent couldn't afford, or your parents couldn't afford eating out because they wanted to use that money for other things. So instead, they cooked something that they knew they couldn't mess up. Okay, well, at least you had that meal every so often that offered you nourishment, that offered you a sense of culture, maybe togetherness with your parent, because they're imbuing that food with energy, with their light, with their, darkness, whatever the case is. They're imbuing the food with that energy, and then you're receiving that. So that could be like a genetic line also. But because it didn't happen in a way that you could be taught, or you were taught, or you wanted to be taught, you don't have the skill set in a time where it is more necessary than it was back then. Maybe during a time where you have more downtime and you can, offer proper nourishment, but instead you go to the fast food because that's your comfort zone. And you don't even realize it's your comfort zone. You have 1,000,001 reasons for why you do it, not realizing it is subconscious programming from your childhood. Okay? So that is what we're speaking on here. Okay? Unlocking subconscious blockages that you have, because these blockages are stopping you from having new beginnings. They're stopping you from partaking in social gatherings. It's stopping you from enjoying togetherness in a way that's positive. Okay? So I'm looking at the cards, and the minute I look up at the owl, it's blue. It's either light blue or dark blue. And I'm noticing that during the time frames that I'm talking about it, and I'm looking at the color blue, it's signaling that there's a lack of healed trauma. So why would someone's foundation be upside down and messing them up as an adult? Because of blockages. Why are these blockages here? Trauma. What is this trauma from? Well, you can call it PTSD. You can call it life lessons. You can call it karmic lessons. You can call it battles and triumph, success stories that they emotionally detach from. Because I have a lot of success stories where there was PTSD and trauma. Yes, I came out as the victor. Yes, the divine had my side. Yes, the divine had my back. Yes, the divine was cloaking me and shielding me. However, there was still a healing process that needed to happen. There was still baggage that had to be unpacked and redistributed. Maybe not in my house. Yeah, I brought the baggage back, but it didn't go in, I didn't unpack the clothes to put back in my drawers. Like, I brought the baggage back from the vacation and then took all those clothes to the Salvation Army, or took all those clothes to the shelter down the block, or took all those clothes to someone who I know can better utilize them, while also, removing the energetic attachment I have to them and so on, just so I don't have the personal memories, it just be what it was. A situation that I've learned from in a way that helped me externally and internally. So I got through the situation. I'm able to recall the story. It's a success. I can clap my hands and everyone else clap for me. That's an external reward. Okay? External victory. But where's the internal victory? The internal victory comes with processing the information. Was this meant for me? Was this not meant for me? Was this the best route I could have taken? Was it not the best route I could have taken? Why did I triumph? Was it because of me? Was it because of energies around me? Was it because of the divine? Was it because I needed to be patient? What was the reason? Was there multiple reasons? And how can I use this information to help me facilitate something better in my life? Help someone else better their life in some way, or help the collective by me keeping that information and being open so that someone else who's also open can energetically receive the information, not by them hearing my voice, not by them reading anything, just by them sitting with themselves through a meditation and saying, you know what, soul family, I need an answer to this. And me being all the way over here, it's like, I don't know you yet, but I know you're my soul family. Energetically, I'm connected to you. And so this is what I've learned. You can just tap into that information as you need, because my soul already trusts and recognizes your soul. So now you're tapping into that during your meditation and you're getting the information. Everything is gung-ho on your end. And all I did was go through my lifelong situations in the best way I could. Processing them, digesting them, analyzing them, releasing them. Sometimes regurgitating them if necessary. But in an effort to release them. Okay? So that is the point of this reading, and I'm gonna leave it there. Release. Figure out what baggage you need to release. This is a constant message, because that is one of the cyclical patterns that isn't karmic. Okay? It's a cyclical pattern that you have to go through, like the water cycle, or the nitrogen cycle, or the life cycle, birth, death, summer, winter, spring, fall, like the I don't even know if I said that in the right order. The succession of the seasons, and how it's a revolving door. No, it's not to harm anyone. It is to show you that the yin and yang of life creates balance. And what is the most stable structure in nature? That would be a sphere, a circle. Okay? So, I leave it there. As always, I wish us the best. Thank you for the likes, the shares, the subscribes. If you got to this point of the reading, you're amazing. You know, I've noticed like not a lot of people go through the entire reading. Maybe they got their message and continue on. But, you know, for those that stay to the end, because I definitely, I don't know what it is about the energy. It's just like, I'll start off and it's slow, gradual, so I can kind of temper myself in the energy. And then once I'm in the energy, it's like, boom, let's understand what's going on. We know what we got to do. Boom, and we're out the energy. So if you get to this point in the reading, this is like the more confident parts of my reading. You know, you're amazing. You're most likely in line with my frequency or my soul family, and I want to just appreciate you and ask you to reach out to me via email so that we can have this soul family at least know each other by face and name, and, you know, maybe have a reunion. I don't know. Okay, so yeah, on that note, I'll leave it there. I'll see you soon. Until the next.